The 30th of August 1998, a significant game for Magpie supporters as it heralded the start of Ruud Gullit's tenure as manager. Liverpool had begun the season with a win at Southampton and a draw with Arsenal, and they had a bubbling Michael Owen in their ranks, fresh from his exploits at the World Cup. Gullit had only been at the club 4 days, so left it to first-team coaches Alan Irvine and Tony Craig to select the Newcastle side. There was a first start of the season for Philippe Albert and debuts for Carl Serrant and Stéphane Guivache, who'd played in the World Cup final for France. Liverpool made one change to the team that had started both Premiership matches. England midfielder Jamie Redknapp returned to the side after 5 months out through injury. In a 4-4-2 formation, Steve McManaman and Patrick Berger supplied the width for the front two of Owen and Karl-Heinz Riedler. A big day for Gullit, albeit in a watching brief. Match commentary from Alan Parry.
Newcastle United, in their famous black and white stripes, get the game underway, attacking from right to left with this slight way to McManaman. And now Patrick Berger for Liverpool. Paul Ince in a good shooting position here, struck that brilliantly. Owen onto the rebound. What a fine finish by Michael Owen. A brilliant effort initially by Ince, and it really produced a fine save as well from Gibbon. But the Predator was on hand to strike. And this was a superb finish by Owen. It was no means routine, that. He was a bit unlucky there, Shea Gibbon, in the end. It was a tight angle, but somehow or other, Michael Owen managed to squeeze it in between goalkeeper and post. Michael Owen, last season's top scorer with 23. Keeper in the world could have done any better with that. The goal came after 17 minutes. Fabulous start for Liverpool, who had to endure a lot of early pressure here, and Owen is away again and could make it two, and has done. The moment he got the ball, you knew what would happen. He is ice cool, this lad, and the finish, which he made look routine, was far from that. Much more experienced players might have panicked here. He remained back, aware of the danger of offside, and chose his moment perfectly to slide the ball under Shea Gibbon and get his second goal in, well, a little over a minute, I would say. Oh dear, he must be thinking, the problems might be greater than I imagine. As Glass knocks one in, that could have produced an immediate reply for Alan Shearer, whose header came off. That's a good ball, Patrick Berger. Danger again here. And Owen's there again, and perhaps the easiest chance of the lot he's missed. That could have been a hat-trick inside, 4 minutes? Czech international keeping his place in the Liverpool team when many had expected him to lose it. Now Liverpool have lost the ball, and there's surely got to be an equal, or at least a goal here for Guivache. They might have to wait a bit longer for the equaliser, but at least Stéphane Guivache is off the mark, and Newcastle have got one goal back in the 28th minute. Very sloppy defending there by Liverpool. Bad dispossessed. He was on his feet claiming he was fouled as Rob Lee continued the attack. And he had, But Guivache, who was leading scorer in 2 successive seasons in the French league, is off the mark. A goal, more than he managed in 6 appearances for his country in the World Cup finals. Liverpool straight back on the attack again. And another fine effort this time. Just over the when these two teams meet. And Newcastle have picked up well, but given it away to Owen. And Owen vaults the first challenge and the second. Brilliant! What a goal! What an unbelievable goal by Michael Owen! A hat-trick inside 30-odd minutes. That was absolutely unbelievable. Look at that, 1, 2, 3 defenders around him. He evaded 2 challenges. There was still so much work to do there because Gibbon had come out and narrowed the angle well. Look how difficult it was. He had just a glimmer of daylight to aim at, really, and found the back of the net. Just really defies any more stunning first half at St James's Park. And here they go again, and would you believe, it's Owen in space once more. Ooh, well, you can't blame him for having a go, can you? And certainly nobody in a red shirt is. McManaman applauding him. He just loses defenders all the time. He takes up the most in football again. McManaman. Owen and Riedler in the box. Newcastle in danger here. And Riedler's header flies just over. But the flow, the movement, the skill in that Liverpool attack, well, that will have football people drooling. Pierce winning the header there, but Berger onto the loose ball, and he's done brilliantly here, Berger. Good effort, great goal! Oh, what a finish by Patrick Berger, and what a finish to the half by Liverpool. 4-1. Newcastle caught napping, but the way Berger charged through the challenge and found the corner of the net, again, quite exceptional finishing here by Liverpool. Who've had a first half that will send shudders down the spine of every other team in the Premiership. In this form, Liverpool looking absolutely irresistible. Well, there's so much competition for places at Liverpool from real quality. It's going to take some stopping, and these lads know that, pull it or not, on Liverpool 4. Sloppy clearance there by Hagen. Made Staunton sprint. Just Barton's corner. Shearer up highest again, but this time just over. Friedel is built like desperate Dan. He really is a huge man. Now a chance. Oh, Friedel did well then. He went down at the feet of Watson, and that was enough to make sure that he couldn't get a clean shot on it, and that prevented what would have been a serious situation there for Liverpool. Ball dropping straight to Watson, and as he stretched here, Friedel have to shed a few off the payroll. Pierce swings one in, speed, dabs at it, Shearer dabs at it as well, and neither of them could convert it into a goal. Smile of quiet resignation. Oh, tremendous header! And a lot of the crowd at the other end of the stadium thought that Dabizas had actually scored then, as the ball seemed to ricochet off the back netting. It was a very good effort by the Greek. McManaman, as I mentioned earlier, has not really looked at his best today. Did well. Glass. Good run again by Stephen Glass. And still going. Excellent play. And then a wild effort by Givash at the end of it. Now, at the risk of being repetitive here, I think there's two players who can take pride in their performance for Newcastle today. Stuart Pearce in defence, and young Stephen Glass, who's made an excellent contribution. And I would imagine Ruud Gullit will be very impressed with him. Well, apply ice is the usual physiotherapist's advice when you've got a problem, and Steve McManaman has done just that. Final score at St James's Park: Newcastle United 1, Liverpool 4.
A disappointing start, and Ruud Gullit's first season in charge of Newcastle proved to be a difficult one. The team struggled to find any cohesion. In fact, 34 different players started for the club during the campaign. They finished in 13th place on 46 points. Later in the season, Liverpool abandoned their policy of joint managers, with Gerard Houllier put in sole charge. But the partnership of Robbie Fowler and Michael Owen up front still failed to gel on a regular basis, and the Reds finished in 7th place.